So you went with the spalted maple, huh? Cool. Let's see how we're going to orient this. When I look at that piece of wood, I really like this figure up here, and this is kind of like meh back here. Actually, I think I like this section right there, so let's do that. Let's put this just like that right there. We'll utilize the best piece of that wood that we can. So we're going to go over and drill our 3 holes. Right. Check that out. Ready to go. I got the front of the scale marked out, and I'm going to go cut that off. I just broke my bandsaw blade, so I'm going to use a 36 grit belt and just hog off this extra material. Not the best way to go at it, but I'm going to do it. Okie dokie. Everything's already cleaned with acetone and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and mix my epoxy up, and we'll put this one together. Ooh, that's nice. Ready to go. We're going to cut the pins off and get started shaping. That's a lot of sheaths. Holy moly. That's a lot of sheaths. Let's get to cutting. I'm just going to cut all of these out. Got my trusty razor knife here. Oh, fun. We need to attach all of the belt loops first. Perfect. We've got all of these belt loops sewn on. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the welts, and I'm going to glue those in to the back panel all the way around. So this is going to get glue here, and I'm going to glue this welt in. Now that we've got all of the welts glued on, we're going to go ahead and glue this side of the welt, glue the back face of the front, and glue the fronts on. Just make sure that the belt loop is sewn on first before you glue the front panel on, because you won't have access to this inside anymore. Now we've got all of the front panels glued on. This is where we're at. After I glued on the front panels, I cleaned up the edges, made sure everything was nice and crisp between all 3 layers. And now that the edge is nice and crisp, I can take and run my stitching groove all the way around. You want to crispen up all your edges and get everything right, because your stitch line will run on the finished outside edge. So if this is wonky at all, then your stitch line will be wonky. So get this nice and straight and true, and then when you run your stitch line, it'll give you a perfect place for your stitches, and it'll be nice and straight and true. Now it's time to space out the stitches. Here's a good tip on this one. I like to start at the very tip where the 2 lines where the confluence of the 2 lines is. That's going to put a stitch right at the V. That's really what you want. Just run that up. That's going to give you your spacing on your stitches. So what happens is, by starting the stitch wheel right in the tip, your stitch will go from here to the tip and then back up. rather than having an odd one here and then one over here and then having your stitch cross over. It'll go all the way down to the tip and then back up. Ooh, look at those. Now we got them all stitched together, but they're still rough. They are still rough. I'd like to take the edge beveler here, one at a time, and I'm going to bevel all of the edges. You know, clean them up. Nice, long, even pass. That gives me a uniform bevel, cleans up the edge. Nice. I'll do that on the front and the back. There we go. I'll also do top. Check this out. This right here is an acid etched 1/16 inch steel blade with spalted maple, stabilized spalted maple. It came out really nice. I like the profile of the handle. It's super fast and slicey. Excellent, excellent knife. Really enjoyed this. Also made a corresponding leather sheath for it. Makes a really nice package. It's wet formed in there so you can see the shape of the knife. Everything turned out really nice on that. Overall, I give this an A+. Every one of these knives turned out super well. I think that you built a beautiful knife. The choices that you made came together really nice on this knife. I don't dislike any of the knives that we made in the series. This one's not my favorite, but it's definitely right up there. So I encourage you to go back to the beginning video and choose some of the other alternate paths and check out some of the other knives that we made. Overall, I give you guys an A+. Great job, man. Great job. See you on the next one.